Now at 6, the battle over Providence Public School funding boils over. The mayor says a tax increase is a very real possibility now that the courts have sided with the state-run district. Good evening, I'm Patrice Wood.
And I'm Gene Valasanti. The courts ordered the city to pony up millions. So maybe just give the schools back, says an angry mayor, since the education commissioner has become impossible to work with anyway. Here's NBC 10's Gabrielle Caracciolo following up on a fiery news conference tonight. Gabrielle?
Well, the city has already started making changes in response to that court ruling. A hiring freeze is now in effect and all discretionary spending on pause. But the mayor says more drastic changes could be coming and a tax increase is not off the table.
No matter how, fund us now.
Providence school students are stuck in the middle of a budget battle between the city and the state-run district.
The fact that we're in this position in the first place is just completely disgusting.
A group of high schoolers walking out in protest Tuesday, demanding the adults figure it out.
The city and the state have dual responsibility because I feel like we shouldn't have gotten to this point.
The state-run school district says they've been underpaid by the city since the state takeover. Last week, a judge agreed, telling the city to come up with the cash the district is owed. But exactly how much remains to be determined.
How much money does the school district need in order to avoid cuts?
We've always asked for 10.9. That's the goal. Under that, that's just a break even.
Superintendent Javier Montañez says that $10.9 million is just what they need for this school year. Without it, things like sports could be canceled and RIPTA bus passes taken away from students who rely on them. They've argued the final number should be higher once back pay is taken into account.
When the city signed the agreement, they failed to meet their obligation, not PPSD. So it's important for everyone to understand that the city should have had the opportunity and should have planned correctly in budgeting the students' needs in Providence.
The ruling is very disappointing. The range of whatever the award might be is massive and could be catastrophic. If it is the high end of the range, that is truly worst case scenario. This is financial health of the city for a very long time to come.
Providence Mayor Brett Smiley says the city could be facing a bill anywhere from $10 to $85 million. He argues the district is unfairly mismanaging funds.
You're talking about what you believe is fair, but what's fair and what's legal aren't always the same thing.
It shouldn't be what one judge's interpretation of a state law is. It should be what's best for these kids and their families. It's not going to help the social and emotional needs of our kids to have no after-school and summer programming. It's not going to help the financial strain of families in our cities for their taxes to go up and summer school to get cut and the water parks to be closed and the libraries to go down to 2 days a week. None of these things are going to help these families and these kids.
The legal debate, little comfort for these students waiting to see exactly how they'll feel the impacts.
We should not have to choose these major parts of our city as like ultimatums.
Now, the city and the state-run district were originally due back in court tomorrow to figure out the final dollar amount that's at play here. But we've just learned that that hearing has been postponed until next week. And until we find out exactly how much money the city has to pay, we won't know what cuts are going to be made at the city or the school level. Live in Providence, Gabrielle Caracciolo, NBC 10 News.